Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Extreme Exchange. Today I'm joined by Matthew Lee and Zach Lu. Hello. Today we have some very interesting topics coming your way.
Recently, there's been a lot of social reforms, and I feel like a lot of this is enabled by social media, all the social movements that have been arising recently, and I think because of that, what I've noticed in the past year, 2020 especially, is that there is a rising need to be self-righteous. There's a rising need to prove that you are at a, you're at a position where you hold the moral high ground compared to other people. And I think because of social media, this is enabled, and this is actually encouraged. And because of this need to prove that you're more righteous than someone else, I think that sort of like leads into the whole intention of the whole corrupted intention of cancel culture, and how it grew to be this kind of thing that's perverse and not as good as it was originally.
I just want to add on to this point because, like, from a social media standpoint, as a private person who doesn't have social media or has a smaller social media following, I'm under a lot less scrutiny compared to someone who has 1 million followers, 1 million plus followers, you see. So right now, I'm like, people, there's a bit of asymmetry, because you're able to see the public figure's life in so much more depth, like, for example, like, people can reach out to your friends like from 20 years or 10 years back to dig out all the dirty stuff they have done. But for a private citizen, no one would bother doing that, you see. So even though I, or like any other private citizen who's into cancelling that guy, made certain mistakes or similar mistakes, right, they may not even be reviewed, But then, whereas the guy who's a public figure will get it all reviewed, So even though I could be commenting, like some people could be commenting like, oh, this guy is doing all these bad things and stuff. But hey, what if some of the people that are commenting actually doing it in their own personal lives? We just don't know.
Correct.
That's like the thing I'm thinking about.
And it doesn't make sense, right? Because we're all on the same level. It's just how come just because they are more exposed that they have to live perfect lives.
Correct.
True.
I think there's an expectation because when you're in that high seat, right, the pedestal, and everybody looks at you. There's a kind of expectation for you to be good, basically. And then I think the public figures themselves realize it. So what happens is that they will have to conform to the masses. They will look at what's, I guess, trendy in terms of who to criticize and what is a good opinion to have.
Yeah.
Then they'll just take it.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that people don't have. So to go back to the thing about having that need to be to seem like you're morally upright in front of other people. I think it's not to say that there aren't morally upright people, but that there's a very real tendency to choose the politically correct answer. And then you don't actually stand up for the person who's being criticized, and you don't try and find out what parts of their argument is fair or something like that. You don't give them a proper hearing. Yeah, exactly.
No, but undoubtedly, like, let's say the cancel culture has all these flaws, like what you mentioned, what we've been talking about. But then what I'm thinking about now is like, okay, what if there was no such thing as cancel culture and there was no effort that was made in holding these people accountable? It means, like, let's look at the other end of the spectrum. If let's say there was no effort on our part as viewers to actually hold companies or people and stand up for what is right. Yeah. Okay. Like, for example, if a company is causing a lot of harm to the environment, right? And we don't do anything about it, and we don't try to boycott their goods and try to force them to treat the world properly, right? Or like to treat the environment properly, then is that a moral failing on our part? So could it be that actually cancel culture is something that's necessary, but it just needs to change in terms of the way that we go about it?
It needs to be moderated.
It needs to be kind of moderated,
I think in a sense it has become corrupted as well, because the original intent of punishing the what do you call it, the inflictor, punishing whoever needs to be punished. Like, the original intent is corrupted, because like I see a lot of people who who kind of like buy into this cancel culture, who post onto social media just to seem like, oh, you know, I disapprove of this, therefore, therefore, you know, I'm so much better. And I think not only just how it's executed, but also, you know, the intention needs to be moderated. But I think stuff like this is inevitable lah. But yeah, that's just another.
Okay, anyway, hit the subscribe button for more, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Extreme Exchange. Goodbye.